What's going on, world? I'm in my little, RZA-like get up, so I'm really looking forward to this battle between Primo and RZA. So these guys are my top three. Period. You know, my top three is Primo, Timbaland, RZA, in that order, I would say for the most part. So I'm excited beyond belief for this shit. Um, I don't need to tell you about RZA's catalog, Primo's catalog. These are some of the best to ever do it. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think Primo is gonna beat him. I was gonna say wash him. Uh, you know, the thing with Primo is that Primo, like, basically didn't make a single bad beat from like the early 90s till the early 2010s, which is crazy when you think about it. Like, it's a long run, man. Primo's got so many bangers, it doesn't even, like, it's not even fair. Because as much as I love RZA kind of fell off after 97. Like, the moment Wu Tang Forever came on, like, that shit was kind of weak. To me. I mean, it had some joints, obviously, but I never really liked Wu Tang Forever. And even the more I listen to it now as an adult, I'm like, it wasn't really like that shit. You know what I mean? So RZA hasn't really been as prolific with the beats as Primo has been, even going into the 2000s. I mean, the 2000s, you're thinking about Boom, you're thinking about the Come Up, It's All Real, like, there's some serious records out here, man. Even the beat that Primo gave to Rex, 25th Hour, that's ill, and that's like 2011. Like, Primo's been doing it. Spit Six with Big Shug, that's 2011 or 2010. Like, those are some crazy beats. Those are great beats. So I think Primo's gonna take it. The other thing too that I'm really loving about this, and it sort of proves something I've always said, is that really producers are more important than rappers. I mean, look at this, right? You have hip hop battles going on right now, and who are they sort of being, spurred on by? The producers and the DJs. The DJ and the producer are kind of the same in a way in hip hop culture to a certain extent, but that's the point. Like, the real heart and soul of this hip hop shit are the DJs slash producers. Facts. It's not the rappers, and I love the rappers, but it's not the rappers. You know what I mean? The people that are really like, they have this encyclopedia of knowledge, the real intellectuals of this rap shit. They're the producers, and they're the ones that are going to put on for hip hop culture when they don't even have to. I mean, these producers could be like, look, listen, you're not paying me. I'm not going to do this battle, right? But they're looking at it and saying, hey, look, listen, man, like, for the culture, it's important that people have something to pay attention to while they're quarantined at their homes, something to take their mind off the stress, and also showcase some hip hop. And it's beautiful. That's why I always say, man, the beat, the beat, the beat, the beat. If you really know this hip hop shit, it's about the beat, man. It ain't about like what rapper did this and wore this and all that stuff. It's the beat. The beats are what give these rappers life. That's what allows them to do what they do. So yeah, I care about producers, and I always pay attention to what they do. And the great ones, like the Primos and the RZAs of the world, I absolutely pay attention. You know, I think Primo's gonna kind of go away with this just because Primo's catalog is so massive, and this has really been a battle of catalogs. I mean, that's what this has been. It's not necessarily a, oh, let's see who can make a beat from scratch type of battle. I think catalog battles are more interesting, to be honest with you, anyways, because they're sort of like a nice little bow tie on a career, if that makes sense. Not that it ends a career, but it's sort of a way to sort of see how far we've come with this hip hop stuff. So I like the catalog battles, and this is what it is. It's a catalog battle. So, Primo's catalog is nuts. He's done beats for everybody. Everybody. Damn near everybody. Every rapper from like 1985 ish, 1986, that mattered up until present. Even Drake, Primo has a beat for, and it's a good Drake song. And that's the thing. Primo will do a beat for you, and it's going to be one of your best songs. That's why people fuck with Primo. I remember growing up, anytime I saw the name DJ Premier, I bought. And 9 times out of 10, it'd be the best song on the album. Hands down. Like, it would always be the best song on the album. Because Primo is an intellectual. It takes an intellectual to make songs like Rakim's New York where Premo's scratching all this stuff in New York, you out there, and taking all these vocal samples from all kinds of places, right? Even the idea of a scratch chorus, where you're digging into statements said by previous rappers to back up what you're saying now on wax, is some real intellectual shit. You know, Preemo went to university. He's not one of these dumb niggas out here, right? Again, hip hop is intelligence. That's what makes hip hop tick. So, yeah, I think that what Preemo has over RZA is quite a bit, actually. Now, I actually think that RZA, for a little sort of stretch, or well, I would say a pretty big stretch when I think about it, from like 1993 to 1997, was probably the best producer in hip hop. That stuff that he was doing with 36 Chambers and Wu Tang, not Wu Tang Forever, I'm sorry, but Liquid Swords and Cuban Links was some real groundbreaking, innovative hip hop shit. Like RZA really brought cinema to hip hop in a way that nobody was doing, and I would argue it forced Preemo to actually switch his whole production style up. So in a way, this is why this is such an interesting battle, because Preemo has hinted at this many times, saying that basically he was looking at RZA and sort of they were battling each other even back then on some like, oh, I got a piano joint that's hotter than what you just came out with, and then Primo will come with something, then RZA be like, nah, that's cool, but wait till you hear Cream, right? So these two have been rivals for a minute, but good rivals, of course. Um, so I think RZA has definitely had a hand in Primo's productions in terms of how Primo has switched the shit up. Because if you look at Primo's stuff before Wu Tang came out, it's jazzier. It's not as hard, in my opinion. Um, but then you look at Wu Tang comes in, and then 1994 Hard to Earn, and Hard to Earn is to me where you really start to see Primo be Primo, where he's got these minimal, sparse, sort of sparse, but minimal, hard as fuck beats, weird sounds, weird samples, that kind of thing. And I think that's him literally looking at RZA and being like, holy shit, this guy's just changed the game. I gotta come with it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be great. I think Primo has the opportunity to take this pretty early. I would love to see Primo come with some of his like, more underground cuts, because I don't really necessarily want it to be a Nas's like versus Cream. I mean, that's cool, but again, who's this for? Is this for the heads? Is this for the casuals? Right? We already know Nas's like and Cream are amazing records. I want to see Nut Nut, Hands in the Air, MOP Salute, Freddie Foxxx, Real Nigga shit, you know what I mean? Like, Closer to God, Krumbsnatcha, some of these beats he just like, that he gave to nobodies, quote unquote, not that casuals would know, but hip hop heads would, and see how that stacks up against some of like the album cuts that RZA did for people, like that's what I want to see to the most part. I mean, I understand that you got to throw in the Biggie and the Jay and the Nas, and I'm cool with that 100%. But I would like to see some unreleased stuff for sure. That's really good, and also some of the lesser known, but like that shit that was just like nuts. You know what I mean? So, and I think that Primo, his music has a little more energy to it than RZA's in a way. RZA's shit is more of that mysterious shit. So, look, if they only got 20 joints to pick, RZA, if he's smart about the joints he picks, he could technically be Primo just by selection. You never know. So, but I think RZA's got to go into his like, what the blood clot, stroke of death. You know what I mean? Like he's got to go into some shit like that. M.E.T.H.O.D, like what I mean? He's got to go into that hard shit, and I'm gonna be here for it. So that's gonna be dope, man. My last thoughts briefly are on the Mannie Fresh and Scott Storch battle. I didn't really watch the entire thing. I watched parts of it. I could have told you that Scott Storch was going to kill Mannie. Mannie to me has always been overrated. I never thought he was that great of a producer, to be honest with you. I mean no disrespect to the brother. He made Ha, which is a pretty good beat, or whatever that Juvenile record was. He's obviously done and contributed a little to the game, but I don't think that his sound was all that innovative or interesting. To be honest with you, I never really looked at it as like, damn, like this beat is crazy. None of them, actually, to be honest with you. And I remember when they came out, and I was just kind of like, Bling Bling is probably one of his best beats. And also, you understand? Uh, uh, da. That was cool. That was alright, you know. But I'm not surprised that Scott Storch beat him. And honestly, even Scott Storch stuff's like I listen to his stuff, and this stuff is very pop, and a lot of that stuff's dated. Like I remember, I think he played the "Kiss Me" or some shit, Jada Kiss record. Damn, that shit was horrible. Listen to that shit now, you're just like, oh my god. Like I'm sure that did well for Jada, but nah, man, that's not something I want to hear. So overall, I'm kind of, it's not a really a battle that I think many people care about. But the important thing to note is that these battles are going to expose who really got that catalog, and that's the point. It's not about the East Coast. They don't look, they don't like the South. They look out at the South. Fuck out of here, man. This is IG Live. It's the entire world that's looking at the shit now. Okay, so if you're getting murdered on IG Live, the entire world doesn't like your shit like that. You can't, come with these narrative and like, oh, people hate on the South. Nah, man. If you hot, you hot. If Metro was, battling some East Coast producer of his age, Metro would probably beat that dude because Metro's dope. He's from Atlanta. It doesn't matter. We don't care about narrative. We care about what you actually have. You know what I mean? Like, what have you actually put out that makes undeniable noise? That people go, yo, that beat's crazy. And again, we're not talking about pop hits. We don't care whether it was on radio like that or not. That's not what it is. Hip hop heads know what it is. We know a song that's a smash when we hear it, and it could have been a song that nobody played like that, but it was hard. Truck Turner, Breaker One, that Preemo beat is hard. That shit probably got played nowhere, okay? But that's a beat that Preemo throws that on in the battle, and people are gonna be like, "Yo, what is this?" You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Kass, Golden Child. I mean, again, was that ever on radio? I have no idea what it charted. It doesn't matter. That shit was hard as fuck. Anyone that was a hip hop fan at the time that heard Golden Child, we were like, whoa, Raz is really killing it on this crazy beat. It doesn't matter. It's about what is actually a banger versus not. And I've talked about this again, right? So you can go back to my older videos and see that shit. Anyway, much love. Stay safe, man. This Rona shit is real. Okay, we're dying at a disproportionate rate. Ebro and them were talking about this in their recent sort of like Hot 97 upload, where they were previewing the RZA and Preemo battle, and they made a very good point, man. Like this shit is really disproportionately affecting us, unfortunately. But again, this just boils down to basic racism. Racism is systematic. Okay, it's not about I don't like your face, so I'm going to make fun of you, and that's where it ends. Okay, it's systematic. It has to do with economics, access to welfare, jail, right? The judiciary system, the judicial system. I'm sorry, right? Medical, nutrition. That's the levels of the shit. That's why racism is so evil. If it were just simple name calling about how we look, do you think black people would give a fuck? No, man. We wouldn't give a shit. But the point is, racism means that we're shut out of the economic system and we're forced to take crappy jobs that put our lives, our loved ones' lives at risk. And that's how we catch Rona and all that shit, man. So, anyway, stay safe, alright? Love y'all. Out.